Hello and welcome to another edition of Talking Tech. I'm Todd Boyson, and the topic of today's conversation is going to be the three main issues that I see when working with UCaaS providers that falls a little short of what most clients are looking for when it comes to an enterprise communication platform. Let's get into it. Talking Tech. So what are the three biggest issues that I run into with most UCaaS providers? They're typically pretty common, these three key areas where these providers are falling short of the needs of most enterprise organizations. But first, let's quickly define UCaaS. It's a industry term that you're going to come across in cloud communications. That stands for Unified Communications as a Service. This is a hosted platform that a third-party provider handles a lot of the infrastructure that's involved so that you can utilize these resources on an as-needed basis for your communications. You're not going to need the traditional hardware and software licensing associated with a traditional PBX or premise-based SIP voice system. And a lot of companies are using and going this route because in the long run it's taking large capital expenses and turning them into lower monthly operational expenses for their organization, allowing them to save money in that regard. Unified Communications, the UC of UCaaS, typically refers to not only enabling the basic calling and enterprise calling features of a traditional telephone system, but also combining some of the different collaboration tools that are becoming more commonplace in the working environment today, like enterprise messaging, screen sharing, video teleconferencing, sharing documents and messaging not only with individuals but also grouping individuals into teams of collaborators, and putting all of these into one single communications strategy is where that unified communications come into play and kind of differentiates itself from a traditional plain old telephone solution. So in my experience working with a lot of the UCaaS providers out there, there are typically three common areas where I see any one given solution fall short. And it's not that these gaps can't be filled, but there are things you need to be aware of to make sure that this communication solution is going to be getting you everything you need for your enterprise. The first area where some of these UCaaS providers are falling short is in providing a truly unified communications platform. And by that, what I mean is the reason people turn to a unified communications platform is because they unlock a lot of those different communication types in enterprise platforms, like screen sharing, like instant messaging, like video teleconferencing. And this area where a lot of them are falling short is that there's a need to switch from one application to another in order to switch from one media type to another in terms of how you're communicating at any given time. In my opinion, this kind of falls short of what a UCaaS provider should really be aiming for, which is a seamless communications platform where you could be on a phone call or a video call while messaging and also screen sharing, so that these aren't put together piecemeal after the fact. A lot of times you're going to see this in providers who have gotten to their unified communications status via multiple acquisitions of smaller companies and putting them all together, and they're not that truly unified platform where all of these features are enabled in a single software, mobile clients, web client or computer application. And when it comes to the way businesses and people communicate today, mobile, I feel, is a big piece that needs to be considered. Your unified communications platform should have a mobile application where all of the enterprise features that you're getting out of your desktop or computer clients are also available through a mobile app, and just as seamless and unified as the experience when you're sitting at a desk. So the second area that I see where a lot of UCaaS providers are falling short is in the area of security, which for any enterprise is an enormous consideration in terms of who's able to listen into your phone calls, video calls, and just making sure the information you're sharing is remaining inside the organization, in the right hands, and secure end to end. So a lot of times this is going to be accomplished when a UCaaS provider has its own end-to-end encryption. Today you're going to see the acronym E2EE a lot in the UCaaS space. So end-to-end encryption, and really looking at what that end-to-end encryption is, whether you're using a 128-bit or a 256-bit. You want that 256-bit where possible to make sure that you're getting the best security bang for your buck in these UCaaS platforms. And the third, and one of the largest issues that I see working with many of these UCaaS providers, is a lack of quality of service. I kind of joke, a lot of them advertise their solutions as plug and play, but a lot of times it's more like plug and pray that the solution is going to work. And the way that you're going to get quality of service is through combining the UCaaS product oftentimes with another solution like SD-WAN. The best UCaaS providers are going to be able to implement that technology for you right along with their UCaaS product. But SD-WAN is going to give you that quality of service, or QoS, that is going to allow the traffic on your network to prioritize video, to prioritize voice over other data network types like email or cloud applications that are a lot more forgiving when it comes to dropped packets. If you think about, voice and video being just like data, where it's a lot of ones and zeros being sent to and from endpoint to endpoint, if you're dropping a couple packets during a phone or a video like this, it's going to be very choppy. It's going to be very noticeable. However, if you're dropping just a couple of ones and zeros or prioritizing other traffic over email and other forms, you're not going to really notice that millisecond difference getting the information to your computer as you are with a video or a voice call. So today we talked about the three major issues that I often see when implementing UCaaS and working with those customers who are looking to switch from a premise-based to a cloud-based phone system. Certainly UCaaS has a lot of benefits, turning capital expenses that were pretty large and daunting into operational costs. But three key areas that you want to look out for is choosing a solution that's going to truly combine all of those unified communication features like video, screen sharing, voice, in one single platform that's going to be both on a workstation, laptop when you're working at your desk, and also have those enterprise mobile features through a mobile application that unlock the same capabilities and feature sets. The second one is going to be making sure that this solution is truly secure. And I have other videos on my network kind of diving deeper into video and security in these UCaaS platforms. But you want to make sure that you are choosing a solution that offers end-to-end encryption to make sure your information that you're sharing on these calls, these messages, documents you're sharing are remaining in the right hands. And last but not least, and certainly not least, is making sure that this solution is going to offer quality service. A lot of these UCaaS providers are software companies that got into the telephony game. A lot of times I suggest working with a vendor or an integrator who has a lot of networking experience. So even if that UCaaS provider doesn't come with a solution like SD-WAN, you're working with a professional who knows how to make sure that that voice and video traffic is getting that QoS, quality of service, so that your communication is going to be as good as a traditional premise-based phone system. So, as always, if you have any questions while you are evaluating or looking into your unified communication as a service solution, don't hesitate to reach out. This has been another episode of Talking Tech, and stay tuned for the next edition.